We have a customer survey that maybe we could add a question to the customer survey to ask people to suggest a site that they would like to see next year.
Okay, all right, we are going live. You should be seeing the pop-up come on your screen saying that it's being live streamed.
Yep, we've got it.
Okay, I think we are good to go. I do have another meeting following this one right away, but I don't think this one should take too long today. It's really getting some of the volunteers and that in place. So I'll start with the land acknowledgement. I acknowledge with respect that we are in the Robinson-Huron Treaty and that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and known as Bowading. Bowading is home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. So in the package are the minutes from July 23rd. So if I could have everybody's had a chance to review, if I could have a mover and a seconder.
I can move.
And I'll second.
Thanks, Alex. And thank you, Hannah. All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you. And declaration of pecuniary interests. None noted. We're on to the agenda. So if I could have a mover and a seconder, resolve that the agenda on September 16th, 2025 for the Doors Open Subcommittee be approved.
Could I add advertising to the agenda?
It's under down in the bottom, 0.5, business arising, advertising.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
That's okay. Was there any other additions other than that? Or no, seeing none, can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I'll move it. It's Jamie.
Jamie and
I can second again.
Thanks, Hannah. All in favor? And that motion carries. Okay, great. So that brings us over to our final locations and trying to secure our volunteers. I'm not sure if anybody's made any more headway. Jamie, the email that you had, anybody that was a yes still required volunteers to attend those sites, correct?
Yeah.
So right now, and I'm just going to go through the list one by one. The Armory, we're good there for volunteers, correct?
Well, I haven't heard back, so I'm assuming that they're okay.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'll be going around, just so everybody knows, the night before, and I'll be putting the signs out in front of each of the locations. So if we can confirm if the Armory needs somebody or not, that would be great in case you hear, but assuming that they don't, I'm assuming they have enough staff to assist. The art gallery is good to go that day, so we're in a good position with them. The chapel, the Bishop Fouquet Chapel, right now we need one volunteer there. Okay, yeah. That one's still pending for looking for somebody. Bishophurst, another volunteer as well. The other piece that we have to be thinking about is who's going to be designated floaters in those areas to give a break right now, because if there's only one person from 10 to 4, there's no break times allocated. So we're going to have to be looking at planning for that. Old Stone House, we're good to go. Same with Ermitinger. GFL Memorial Gardens were all set. City staff are taking care of that one. The libraries, we're good at both locations.
Yeah, we have, we don't need anyone at the North Branch, and we have a volunteer for the main branch.
Perfect. Okay.
For the morning. So she might be available. I could ask her. The main branch is only open 10 to 1, so we might ask her if she wants to take another site or whether she just wants to call it a day. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, even if she could do a 2 to 4 somewhere, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
That would give her an hour for lunch, and then she can maybe relieve somebody that's doing a 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Jamie, have we been able to, on your end, make connect with Mary?
No, I told you, you sent around an email saying that Mary had been asking you about it. And I had sent her an email, but her email bounced back, and I thought maybe she wasn't, was retired or something.
No, she's got, so yeah, no, she's got the perfect class to do it.
Okay.
The last time we talked back and forth was September 8th. So I sent out another email just gauging where she was at with the interest from her senior students.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to hear back on that.
Yeah, the sooner the better. I provided you with a phone number. Like they need to communicate with me, right? Like as we
No,
need to hear
absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that the students want to work in pairs, probably.
That would be probably the safest idea. Yeah.
That's my thought. So I was kind of hoping to put them at SKG actually. That was my thought, but I'm preempting Virginia here because we're not down the list yet. But so the Memorial Tower is okay because it's got the Legion people there. Virginia,
That's still pending, right?
well, yeah, I know. That's exactly, yeah, there could be an issue there.
Yeah.
But Plan B is the lobby of the GFL.
Yeah, so we've
the
got the Métis Heritage Center is covered off with volunteers.
Yeah, they're there all day. They're great.
Yeah, Northwest Company Lock and Canal District, probably 1 to 2 there at that location. I actually probably one more. I have Josh Rogers is going to be assisting that day, so I'll probably have him at that location. And
Okay.
then we'll have to look at relief staff to go in and give him a break.
Okay.
Ofrey's still looking for 1 or 2.
I have one.
Okay.
I have Kim Baudry, and she's starting out at 10 o'clock. And I don't know whether she's there all day or just the morning, or she'll decide. She's there definitely from 10 to 1.
Okay.
And she may decide by 1 o'clock, you know. And they've got 5 or 6 volunteers as well, like Harvey and Dave
Oh,
Ellis, and they have guided tours.
yeah. So they're
Dave
probably in
doing
a
a
good
guided
spot.
tours. So I would imagine they're asking for volunteers, and I've got one person starting there.
Okay. They're probably okay then, I would think, because that's a lot more volunteers than we have at any of the other sites.
Yeah, and when I get a well, the 3 volunteers I've had so far, um I ask them what site they would prefer, and I'm letting them choose. So that's how it broke
Yeah.
out the way it does so far.
The Legion, we're all set for that location. Shinwalk, if we could get the students from White Pines there, that it would for SKG, that would be great. And then the last 2, are we covered off with the Children of Shinwalk for the other 2 sites?
I'm assuming that for Wawanosh, yeah, Pierre Breckenridge seems to be on top of that site, both for the Legion and the Wawanosh. The Children of Shingwalk might also be at Shingwalk Hall, right? I think they're going to be split between 2 sites.
Yeah. So I think that takes us through. So ideally, if we can find another 3 to 4 volunteers, just because ideally we'd want to have that at least 2 at each site just for breaks and coverage.
Yeah, I was thinking of actually starting out at the chapel in the morning and just see how busy it is, because I'm not sure. That's going to be a difficult site because there's no bathroom facilities and there's no like heat or anything. So it may, we may have trouble getting a volunteer for that site depending on how cold it is. And
Yeah, I think that whoever's there, they just need to know to dress warm, and that if
I
there's
know, have
still that,
gloves and a parka and stuff, but I thought I might start out there and just see if there's enough of a traffic to require a volunteer.
Is
We'll
there
see.
somebody there that's doing tours though?
Yeah, Amy Sayers is doing it,
Okay.
and it's open, like the building will be open.
Yeah, okay, that works out well.
And I don't know whether she has any children of Shingwak with her there, because
Okay.
that site includes the chapel and the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're not doing too bad as far as filling the gaps then. I'll keep trying to see if I can find a few more volunteers.
Yeah, did we want to touch base with the Royal the Toronto Dominion Bank, because they're one of the sponsors of this event? And I could just reach out to somebody there and seeing if there's anybody there that has an interest.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Okay.
I'm also looking to see if there might be some more part-time staff that might be available that weekend as well. So
Yeah, I could ask Kathy to put out a call among the Friends of Ermichinger Clerk.
yeah, I know we had it at the Historic Sites Board meeting. They may be recovering after
Yes.
creative rendezvous. So.
Yeah, the reenacting it. Yeah, the fall rendezvous, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I was
It's a big
hesitant to
ask.
put too much of a push on
Or
them,
they
but-
may be already volunteering at Ermichinger Clerk because they're one of the sites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll work on the other, and if you work on TD, and then if we can secure White Pines, I think we'll probably be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think last year we had how many students? About 5? I can't remember. I remember 2 students.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be more.
Okay, so I guess are there any other questions on volunteers? So just on the volunteer side, my thought was that I'll go out ahead of time and I'm going to put up the signs the night before. So we have the wireframe signs that have the doors open that we can put out in front of each of the places, and I'm just going to add a 10 to 4 or whatever on the bottom so people know the time frame. So I'll be adding those strips to the signage. I'm going to, in the morning, I have bags that I'll deliver out to each of the locations. So it's going to have volunteer name tag, information on whatever signage they have to put up, water, some snacks, a list of phone numbers. So all of those things I'll have in a bag for each of the volunteers for each of the locations.
So
that's a lot of locations. I'm happy to help however I can that day, Virginia.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, you're good at dividing and conquering. So just tell me what to do and I will do it.
Which end of town do you live in, Alex?
I'm on right off the Pine Street, like.
Okay, so central.
Yeah.
Okay,
Central,
maybe
yeah.
what I'll do is I'll take the list and I'll try to divide the locations geographically and divide them equally that way so that we're not crisscrossing town and we can each just take a certain zone and deliver them off that way.
Yeah, I can help with that too. Are you talking about doing this on Friday?
No, because I'll have to get them to the volunteers or leave them at the locations in the morning or try to get to the volunteers ahead of time. So if you are starting at the chapel, then maybe you'll take the chapel, SKG, and that location because we have a few sites there. So that would be your, say, 4 bags or 5 bags of the volunteers.
Yeah, there's 3 sites in that end of town. But some of
I could drop off ahead of time. So some of the locations it's easier to drop off ahead of time.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like the one where we don't need any, like Ermichinger Clerk, for example, because they don't have. Yeah, so that would be, maybe if we have about 5 of them, we could deliver on Friday. And then that would just leave the ones that are, and so that bag would include the flyers and the customer surveys?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then I was also going to have water, some snacks, phone list, name tag.
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
You know, I could do the ones that are not requiring volunteers. Looking at my list, there are 6 of them. As you know, Wawanosh Legion Armory and GFL Memorial Tower and the Métis Center. So if I delivered those,
At
the
a time?
Métis Center has 2 volunteers. But yeah, those could go out Friday.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll divide that out. I'll make a schedule and then
And I
who
could do
knows
I
where
could
with
do
what?
some Friday afternoon. So for the signs where you're adding the hours, some of these sites are not open 10 to 4.
Yeah, that's why I
Right.
wanted to kind of specify. So
Right. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
yeah, so for the ones that are like GFL where it's just the shorter time frame, we would put the 10 to 1 on there versus the 10 to 4 at some of the other locations. So
Yeah, one of the sites that I was not on my list was the Canal District. Do we need volunteers there?
that's the starting point's gonna be, it'll be the lock and that at the same point. So
Oh, that'll be good.
yeah,
Excellent.
one spot. So what I'll do is I'm gonna, just because of where it is, I'm gonna put a little pop-up tent up there because it's kind of an outside base.
Oh yeah.
And I'll have a table and a chair that we'll bring out in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, you did that last time. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll do the same thing again. So they have a little bit of a home base there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Virginia, you're essentially you're floating all day.
Yeah, so I'll be floating around just in case there's any issues or if there's a break or something that needs to happen. Or in the event we can't secure a volunteer, then I would just be volunteering.
Yeah, Elise Shoyal has also volunteered.
Oh, so she's not on the list yet.
No, she isn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, perfect.
That's my mistake. When Alex said the word floating, it reminded me because Elise and I were originally planning on floating.
So maybe I'll have.
But
we
could actually start her in the morning at a site with a student, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, and then maybe I can have her float.
Float at one end of
Certain
town.
zone, right? So we'll create a schedule.
Yeah, create a zone for Lisa and I, and we can float. That's a brilliant idea. And if I'm down at the Shingwalk end of the city,
yeah,
at
okay.
least maybe be at the canal end of the. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Okay, I like that.
Just so it's a little bit more scheduled, so that people can get their breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. If there's no other questions about that, I'll create a schedule and I'll start to kind of break that out, kind of what needs to happen, what days we're doing the drop-offs. And then we can shift over to Heritage Walks, Alex.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I've got a map. I have kind of a route of the Sioux Ghost Walk. We're going from the old stone house, which is 831 Queen Street, to the Memorial Tower at 269 Queen Street. And in between, that's where we'll do our short blurbs. We have Sunny now. So Sunny, myself, Joe Bumbaco.
Oh, great.
We've all got kind of a story to add. And then we'll take questions and things like that along the way. Yeah, not really too sure. Yeah, we're pretty well on time with all that. With the map, do you want me to share that? Okay.
Can I put it on Facebook?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and I think we're good to go. We'll be down there at 7.
7 or 7:30?
It starts at 7:30, but we'll be down early.
It starts at 7:30.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, that's what I have on my social media. So okay. I thought for a minute you were changing the time.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, 7:30.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because what I might do is park at the Memorial Tower and walk toward you know, everything, so that when at the end of the tour, I can just get in my car and go home. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Put on a black cloak, and on the way I'll see sometimes we can even see a figure in a black cloak, and then there you are coming
Oh.
towards us.
I could give you a ghost story about my grandfather in the blockhouse.
We would love that.
The visiting clerk, right? Because they were great buddies.
Wild, interesting.
Okay, so Alex, you're gonna send the map to Jamie. Jamie will put
I'll
that
send
on
it to you.
Facebook.
Well, I'll send it to the subcommittee
Perfect.
just so everyone has it. Take a look. Any suggestions or feedback, and then
Okay, great. We already talked about packages and volunteer information, so we're good there. So next on to advertising.
So Vanessa had a question in email about advertising, and I think she mentioned boosting on Facebook. And I don't know if Alicia has any experience on how useful Facebook is in terms of boosting and how much it costs and all that, because I have no idea.
Do we have a budget?
Yeah,
And-
because it's about what, 40-50 bucks, eh? It's not.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah, I have a little
I'd
bit we can use to boost.
I would say for an event like this, because there's so much competing sites and information, we probably just do one that talks about the event as a whole, and then we can direct people to a landing spot where the information is, whether that be back to a Facebook, like the event that you've created, or the Doors Open page, or what have you. But yeah.
Yeah, we have an event on Facebook for the Doors Open as the date. So yeah. So how does that get paid? Like if I click on the boost button, and well, anyway, Alicia and I can talk about that separately.
Yeah.
But we want to do something like with Sioux Today or one of the local media. The local, Sioux Star and Sioux Today.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know what
ask,
your
Alex,
budget is, Alicia. So
like, do we have a press release that's going out? Is that
oh yeah, I asked about that. Good idea.
Couple things. So sorry, I'm choking here, but it's fine. I was gonna say I was speaking with communications this morning, and they really like the work that you're doing and the posts they've seen so far. She's not pushing them until after the 21st because we have a competing event coming right now, and where these events that you're talking about for Doors Open are not part of those. So to avoid confusion, she's going to start pushing them from the city account as well. So I think probably any point after that would be the reasonable time for the news release. And she'd probably be very happy to help us with that moving later into next week.
great?
Yeah, and I think we're also getting in there with Fall Rendezvous, which will be pushed, which is the 27th, right? And a lot of those activities. So I think for us, it's just trying to time things in an order that, we have Vivid Fest this weekend, 27th is Fall Rendezvous, and then they start the next push for the 4th. So it's just for us, we have to stage it based off of all of the events that we're running at all of our locations.
So we can start working on this probably right this week is probably not the best moment, but we can probably start working on the press release and the pieces that go along with that at the end of next week, or rather Wednesday, Thursday of next week would probably be better. And then we can get that ready to go. And I would say it should go out the week, probably around the 1st of October. Yeah. Probably not before then.
The 1st of October? If there's any journalists that want to do a story on this, like, I'm wondering, we need to give them more time. The 1st of October is too late for a story.
A couple of things. I agree with you, but I was going to say that with Truth and Reconciliation being on the 30th, that's going to be a bigger priority in the news coverage. And it's going to get eaten up, I think, on the 29th. Let me just double check dates here. I'm looking at the 29th. If we send it out on the 29th, it's probably going to get picked up on the 30th. If we send it out it won't get picked up on the 30th, and we might get missed. So I'd say let's send it on the 30th and have it get picked up for the 1st. But we can potentially pitch a couple of different journalists in particular with the information beforehand. I just wouldn't send them the news release. I would say, hey, we're doing this thing, and here's the information that's going on it, and here's the person that you'd like to speak to, because they'll probably want to grab some quotes, probably from you, Jamie, if you'd like to speak to them.
Yeah,
So we-
I communicated with Jonathan Pinto and Marcus Schwabe at CBC, and I gave them a couple of names.
Mhm.
I mean, which are not me, right? So Dave Ellis and Pierre Breckenridge. So I'm hoping that there's some pickup at that end.
For sure. And what we can do in particular is looking at early next week in particular, we can start kind of shopping that around more locally on Sue Today. So we can send it over to, like I said, I'm having a moment here with, oh my
David
goodness, I was
Howard.
looking at, I might go for, let me see here. I'm not sure. Does he typically cover heritage pieces? I'm thinking, one
I
second.
think
I'm just
he's
looking.
back from a knee replacement surgery, so he's starting to get back into it. I think
What
I
about,
also-
oh, sorry, what about
I'm
Elise,
sorry.
well, Counselor Dufour, I know that Elise is at, who's his spouse, she's at Sioux Today, she could possibly be someone we could talk to, right?
For sure. I think I'm not sure who's in charge of their assignments, but I could say that looking at this, I'd probably loop in Brandon Walker, who's an editor, maybe Carol Martin, who's also an editor, Ken Armstrong, Brad Cochamilio. Darren Taylor is usually pretty good for this type of work as well. And then on the day of, or rather before that, I would also bring in Drew Armstrong because he's a videographer. And so he might want to grab some footage of the event happening live at like one of the busier locations. So we can certainly put something together to contact these people well in advance of the news release, which is forthcoming. Usually the news release, we send it and they'll pick it up almost verbatim, copy, paste, and drop it in.
Mhm.
But what we're talking about is a little bit more than that. So, but also of relevance is Brian Kelly, who's actually been very helpful over at Sioux Star and Sioux This Week.
Okay, and I sent an email to Borderline, and they have some local people that do, podcasts and that kind of thing, so they might pick it up.
Yeah,
And-
very cool. With Sioux Today, Jamie, you at CBC and the Borderline, that's awesome.
Well, if they contact me, it's awesome. We'll see.
And I'm still holding out for our guy Sonny. He's always got some good video presence. If we can get him to do one around
Oh
that
yeah,
time,
that's
that'd
a
be
good
great.
Yeah, if you get a reel, if you and Sonny or Sonny does a reel, I can
A
put it
reel,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'd be fun. If he wants to do that, I can put it online. I think I've got 2 more reels to go that Vanessa collected. Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions on advertising?
Alicia, thanks for your work.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll probably, unless we have some things or issues that we're running into, we'll probably just I'll send out the schedule and kind of go via email as we're moving into this. And yeah, if we need to have a meeting, then we might have an impromptu meeting if anything starts to kind of fall by the wayside that we need to address.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so mover and a seconder resolve that we adjourn.
I will move.
Hannah, thank you, Hannah. Oh, nobody's jumping to second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll second it.
All in
I-
favor? Carried.